Hi everyone, this is Miss Carballo, and I'm going to go over the topic 6 word problem summative check. This one you can see what questions you have gotten wrong. So go ahead and look in Horizon to see which questions you missed so you can pay a little bit more attention to those specific questions. I'm going to go over each one. So this word problem, Jake made a punch by combining. So combining is already one of those key words. So remember I said to circle numbers, that's a strategy. 1.25 liters of pineapple, 3.5 liters of soda. He poured into 3 different containers and underline the question. So how much punch did Jake pour into each container? All right, so there are my numbers. Jake is combining 2.75 of orange juice, 1.25 pineapple, and 3.5 of soda. And you can at least write that down, right? And then he's going to pour, after he combines all those, he's pouring equal amounts of punch into 3 different containers. So your first step, and maybe if these were whole numbers, make an easier number. If this was a 3 and this was a 1 and this was a 4, and he combined all those ounces, you would be adding them to get the total. So you're going to add these numbers in the problem. This is make a simpler problem. But now we're going to go back to our original numbers to see how many combined ounces there are altogether. All right, so this is on my calculator, 2.75 plus 1.25 plus 3.5, and that gives me 7.5. So that's how many total ounces there are. And now he wants to divide it into 3 different containers equally. So my next step is 7.5 divided by 3. And that gives me on my calculator 2.5. So he's going to have, how much punch did he pour into each container? 2.5 liters. So make a simpler problem with the numbers to help you figure out what you do with the numbers in the problem. Okay. All right. Number two, Sheriff went shopping for a picnic. He bought 2.25 pounds of hamburger. That cost $4.48 per pound. Then he wanted 1 3/4 pounds of tomatoes. That cost 88 cents per pound. And a head of lettuce that cost $1.24. And a package of hamburger buns that cost $3.56. How much did Sharif spend at the grocery store? All right, so let me underline my question because that's easy to do too. I'm trying to see how much he spent at the grocery store. So if this 2 1/4 pounds of hamburger, and it cost $4.48 per pound, and the 1 3/4 pounds of tomatoes were 88 cents a pound. And then I also have the $1.24 and the $3.56 that he also spent. So I know I'm going to add those up, but first I need to know how much money that hamburger cost because he bought 2.25 pounds of it. So if this was a 3 and it was $4 for each pound, and he bought 3 of them, I would do 3 times 4. So instead of doing 3 times 4, I'm going to have to do 2 1/4 times $4.48. And in Desmos, it does fractions, so you can put this exact problem into Desmos just fine. Or if you know that 2.25 equals 1/4, you can do it that way too. So 2.25 times $4.48 is $10.08 just for the hamburger. $10.08. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm just multiplying this amount. So 1.75 times 88 cents. And that gives me $1.54. So $1.54. Oh, man, that's a bummer. All right, let me see if I can get that all back. 2.25 times 4.48. $10.08. Why are we not writing anymore? Okay, so I am back. This is, I don't know where the writing went, but I multiplied 2.25 pounds times $4.48, and that gave me $10.08 just for the hamburger meat. So this was just for the hamburger. And then 1.75, because that's what 1 3/4 equals, times the 88 cents. So it's $1.54 for the tomatoes. And then I added those up on my calculator to give me $16.42 is how much Sharif spent at the grocery store. So you had to do some multiplying before you did some adding there. All right, let's look at number 3. So on number 3, a farmer has 6 cartons of specialty eggs and each carton contains 12. If 2/3 of the eggs are brown, what is the total number of eggs? So 12 eggs, 6 cartons, 2/3 are brown. Underline the question. What is the total number of brown eggs he has for sale? So there's 6 cartons and there's 12 eggs in each one. So that means he has 6 times 12. He has 72 total eggs. And 2/3 of his 72 eggs are brown. So whenever we're finding a part of a number, of in math is multiplication. You are multiplying your 2/3 times your 72. So 2/3 times 72 on your calculators is 144 divided by 3 is 48. So 48 of these eggs are brown eggs. And I did that by finding what 2/3 of 72 was. That's one way to do it. There are many ways to do these word problems, guys. These are just the strategies we kind of went over in class if you were stuck and not sure what to do. All right, let's look at number 4. So for number 4, Mark layered 3 pieces of wood to build the base for a lamp, and the pieces were 1/4 inch thick, 5/8 inch thick, and 3/16 inch thick. How thick was the base? There's my question. How thick was the base? I've got these numbers to work with. And at first, actually, you always had a calculator for this one. So we're adding 1/4, 5/8, and 3/16. And if you didn't know how to remember adding fractions from elementary school, Desmos does these fractions for you. If you're not sure how you need to make sure you ask me. But if you do remember, you're making all 16. 4 times 4 is 16, so 1 times 4 is 4. 8 times 2 is 16, so 5 times 2 is 10. I'm just doing the same to the top and bottom, and this is already a 16. So now I'm adding 4/16, 10/16, and 3/16, which is 17/16, which is 1 whole and 16ths left over. So 1 and 1/16. If you did this on Desmos, you have to press that button that converts your answer into a calculator at the end to get this answer 1 and 1/16. Or I guess it would give you 17/16 actually. So maybe make it a decimal and compare, right? All right, let's look at question 5. Question 5 says coffee beans sell for $8 per pound. How much would 5 1/4 pounds of coffee beans cost? So there's my number, $8 per pound, 5 1/4 pounds, so $8 per pound, and there was 5 1/4 pound. And I want to know how much they would cost. There's my question. I'm going to make this an easier problem because what if 8 is pretty easy, so that's fine. But what if I made this 5 1/4 and I just said it was 5? So if I bought 5 pounds of coffee beans and each pound cost $8, that's 5 pounds of coffee beans. So here's 1 pound, 2, 3, 4, 5. And each one of these cost $8. The shortcut, instead of doing 8 plus 8 plus 8, is to multiply. So I want to multiply 8 times 5 to figure out how much these coffee beans cost. I'm going to do the same with 8 and 5 1/4. Desmos does that for you, or you could have done 8 times 5.25 because that's what 1/4 equals as a decimal. And 8 times 5.25 is 42. So these coffee beans cost $42 when you multiplied 8 by 5 1/4. All right, number 6, journalism students took a poll asking students to select one type of music they typically download off a website. This was the most missed question for everybody, so let's look at this carefully. Of the 525 students surveyed, so 525 students, 16% chose hip-hop, 7/25 chose rock, and 4% chose country. And the remaining chose pop. How many students chose pop as their favorite music to download? So I need to find this number right here. So basically I want to know, what is 16% of 525? That will tell me how many students liked hip hop the best. So I'm doing 16% of 525. And whenever you're finding a part of a number, that's multiplication. And multiplication, but we need to make this percent a decimal. So on your calculator, you should have done 0.16 times 525, because that tells you what 16% of 525 is. So 84 students liked hip hop. 7/25 is the same way. It's just written as a fraction, not a percent. So I'm still finding what is 7/25 of 525. So 7/25 times 525 on your calculator is 147. So 147 students liked rock. And now I've got 4% left. And 4% of 525. I need to make that a decimal again. So I need to do this 0.04 times 525 is 21. And if I add these three numbers up and subtract from the 525, that's going to give me my remaining number. So 147 plus 84 plus 21 is 252. And I'm going to subtract that 252 from this 525. Which is 273. I did not write that number down right here, right? What was it, 252? So when I subtract 252 from 525, that gives me 273 students that like pop. There are a lot of different ways to do these questions, guys. You did not have to do part of a number and multiply. You could have used some number sense in that 4% plus 16% is 20%, right? So this part plus this part is 20%. And then rock is, if this goes into 100, 25 times 4, 7 times 4 is 28%. So I could say 20% plus 28% equals 48%. So now I need to know what 52% of 525 is. So that's another way too. You didn't have to find each number first, but that's kind of the strategy we used in class. All right, last question is, during a winter's night, the low temperature was recorded at 19, and the wind chill that same night went to below -7. What was the difference between them? This is a perfect draw a picture problem. All the temperature and elevation numbers. So if I'm at 19 and the low is -7, that's below 0. And when that happens, you're finding the difference between them is actually going to be more than 19, because you're going into the negative side. So this is 19 degrees here, but this is 7 degrees here. And when you add them up, it tells you that there was 26 degrees between them. Difference also means subtract. So 19 minus a -7 equals 26. If you're not good with your integer facts, keep change, or add the opposite. Really makes that 26-degree difference. All right, guys, hope that helped. Let me know if you have any questions before you do the retake.